He laughed at the janitor every morning, mocking her old uniform and quiet ways. To him, she was invisible, just another nobody cleaning his mess. But when the truth came out about who she really was, his world flipped upside down. Morning sunlight filtered through the glass walls of Harrington & Co., a sleek corporate office where ambition hummed louder than kindness. Employees rushed between cubicles, clutching coffee cups and confidence, while at the far end of the hall, Mrs. Elena Rossi, the janitor, quietly pushed her cleaning cart. At 62, Elena's grey hair was tied neatly in a bun, and her uniform, a simple navy jumpsuit, had faded with years of washing. Her hands were rough, her back slightly bent, but her eyes carried a calm wisdom that came from having lived more than most people in that building could imagine. She moved with grace, humming softly as she worked. Among those who noticed her, unfortunately, was Ryan Turner, a 32-year-old senior analyst known for his arrogance. Sharp suits, expensive cologne, and an ego as tall as the skyscraper itself, Ryan prided himself on being the company's rising star. To him, status defined worth, and anyone without it didn't matter. Every morning, when Elena quietly mopped near his office, Ryan would roll his eyes. "You missed a spot, Granny," he'd sneer, sipping his latte. Sometimes he'd purposely spill a few drops of coffee just to watch her bend down to clean it. His co-workers laughed awkwardly, too afraid to confront him. Elena never reacted. She'd just smile faintly and say, "Thank you, sir," before continuing. To Ryan, she was nothing but background noise. What he didn't know was that the woman he mocked was far from ordinary. Elena Rossi wasn't just a janitor. She was the founder and majority shareholder of Harrington & Co., and as the very company Ryan worked for. Years ago, she had built it from the ground up with her late husband, William Harrington. After his death, she stepped away from the spotlight, choosing a quiet life of observation instead. She believed that true leadership meant understanding people at every level, and the best way to see character was from the shadows. One Thursday morning, the company buzzed with anticipation. Rumor had it that the mysterious silent owner of Harrington & Co. was visiting for the first time in years. Ryan strutted around extra confidently, rehearsing his best business smile. "If the big boss is coming," he told his team, "they'll finally see who the real talent is here." Elena entered quietly that morning, as always. Ryan, busy polishing his shoes, nearly bumped into her in the hallway. "Watch it, Grandma," he muttered. "Some of us actually have important work to do." She only smiled and replied softly, "Be careful how you treat people on your way up, Ryan. The view can change quickly." He scoffed, whatever that means. An hour later, the boardroom filled with executives awaiting the billionaire owner's arrival. Ryan sat near the head of the table, already imagining his promotion speech. When the CEO walked in, a tall, composed man named Charles Weller, he cleared his throat and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the person who built this company from nothing. The woman who believed in us all before any of us believed in ourselves, Mrs. Elena Rossi." Ryan froze. His smirk disappeared as the doors opened, and the janitor, some mop still in hand, walked in. The room fell silent. Elena looked around calmly, her warm smile unchanged. "Good morning," she said. "I see the floors are clean today." Ryan's throat went dry. You're the owner?" he stammered. Elena nodded gently. "One of them, yes. I wanted to see how things were running from the ground level." Her gaze held no anger, only quiet disappointment. "That's amazing what you learn when no one thinks you're important." Ryan's heart pounded. Memories of every rude comment, every laugh, every dropped coffee cup flashed before him like a film reel of shame. Elena turned to the room. "In this company, we value respect, not titles. Kindness isn't a job description. It's a choice, and I've seen who makes it." No one dared to speak. She continued, "Ryan, you've shown great skill on paper, but poor leadership in practice. Effective immediately, you'll take a leave of absence for mentorship training. Perhaps humility will teach what success could not." Ryan lowered his head, voice barely a whisper. I'm sorry, ma'am." Elena's tone softened. "Apologies are good beginnings. Just remember, every person's worth is not in what they wear, but who they are." Months passed. Ryan's leave turned into a lesson he never expected. He spent time volunteering at a local shelter, at Elena's quiet suggestion, and found himself cleaning, serving meals, and listening to stories of people he'd once dismissed. Slowly, his arrogance melted into empathy. One rainy morning, he returned to Harrington & Co., wearing a simple grey suit and carrying a bouquet of white lilies. He found Elena in her office, now dressed elegantly in a cream blazer with a teal scarf, her kindness undimmed. "For you," he said softly. "Thank you for teaching me," she smiled. "It was your choice to learn, Ryan. I just gave you a mirror." As he left her office, Ryan caught his reflection in the glass wall, a man transformed, not by power, but by humility. He understood now what Elena had always known, that respect is the true measure of greatness, and kindness is the only currency that never loses value.